Hello, my name is Christopher Martin. I'm co-founder and director of urban strategy at Urban Movement, a member of the executive committee of the Urban Design Group, and a trustee of Living Streets. There's no getting away from it. COVID-19 has torn a hole in city budgets, decimated urban economies across the globe, and forced the hand of public transport providers everywhere to limit earnings and restrict usage. Indeed, TfL estimated the loss of passenger income at about £500 million back in March. Local governments face a likely shortfall of hundreds of billions of pounds. Small businesses are closing at alarming rates. And when the Chancellor's tax and business support expires, shortfalls will very likely get worse. We do have a problem, but we should have hope. Cities have always been the engines of recovery, and they need to and will be again. Investing in a green and just recovery is the only way we will dig ourselves out of this hole. We need to put in place a system that safely and equitably connects people, everyone in society, to jobs and city services. We need to put in place a system that once and for all eradicates transport poverty and assists places to rebuild economically. And when we look at it, we should see the 15-minute city as an economic recovery tool. The term or brand is based on the power of nearness, when things are just close. Now, there are all sorts of these brands. Melbourne had the 10-minute city years ago, and Oslo calls it a city of short distances. But the idea remains that we have to move towards a situation whereby what people need is just close, where what people need can be reached in a way that is very cheap, so opportunity can be accessed by all in society, and where what people need can be reached in a way that doesn't damage society and the environment. From a financial perspective, this is a winner too. A US study called Foot Traffic Ahead, conducted by lots of sensible and scientific sounded organizations and people, found that walkable urban places, demanded 75% higher rent over the metro average in the 30 largest cities. And this is, of course, supported by the TfL Economic Hub work, which we all know and love. 15-minute cities, micromobility, and more space for walking and biking are the innovative solutions that will help our cities rebuild and restore our economy while protecting lives, cutting dangerous pollution, and increasing community spirit and local pride, so people want to buy local and forget Amazon. But delivering this is sometimes not easy. One reason is that we don't see urban and transport design as a science, yet we are trying to save lives and create a thriving and prosperous society. In science and medicine, and we can very easily relate to this at the moment, if something attacks us, if something is killing and hurting human beings, science and medicine fight back to eradicate it, lessen its impact, and put us on a path of recovery. Medicine and science evolve and keep pace with the evidence. We are not being prescribed leeches anymore, and we are all fine with that. But with our streets and transport, we sometimes fiercely resist change. With all the cultural, technical, scientific, and political innovation we've experienced in cities, city streets have been in suspended animation for generations. Look at Regent Street in 1885, in 1950, and today, the layout and makeup of the street have been largely frozen in time. How we move about and how we shape cities has to be governed by what yields the maximum return on investment for people and society from the space we have available. And that means streets have to evolve, to move on and change, to constantly support people in society in new ways. And like medicine, streets and cities have to act to eliminate what kills us and protect from what harms us. In the design of our towns and cities, there's simply no place for nostalgia. What the 15-minute city concept gives us is a common ground, an urban transport theory that understands the importance of experiential qualities, and indeed understands that people have self-interest. The idea of bringing things closer to people isn't new. Various planning philosophies, including new urbanism, have promoted more dense, walkable development and simply putting things closer together for generations. Bringing things closer together, in fact, is a win for us all because it makes our lives easier. And this is what the 15-minute city concept realizes and highlights. It's about strengthening communities, but also when things are local, we don't need to think long and hard about the best or, let's say, least worst way to get somewhere. We're free to travel in the ways we want. And more often than not, this will lead us to travel in the ways that are the most enjoyable, fun, and relaxing. So I'd say as designers of cities, it's on us to make sure that these ways of traveling are the ones that are the best for the city, for the environment, for the economy, and for society. And if we quickly look at London through the lens of the two major components of the 15-minute city concept, namely transport and land use planning, we can see that in terms of land use planning, as is the case in many cities globally, we're nearly there. This is some more of TfL's great mapping work, I believe. The magenta showing town centres, light pink being a 15-minute walk for people with mobility issues or walking with children, for example, and dark pink being a 15-minute walk on average. And the purple here is showing a 15-minute cycle. So there are very few pockets of London left grey. So to my mind, it is the transport that we need to focus on in cities. It is transport that we need to connect with land use planning and strategic urban design more closely, because without effective transport in the equation, We have communities within cities that work around the drive, park, and enjoy concept rather than the 15-minute city concept. Places that you drive to, get out of your car and relax. A place where you can enjoy being a pedestrian momentarily. This isn't the future we can accept for cities. This is the model for Disneyland, not the model for our engines of economic, societal, and health recovery. So to close, this pandemic has allowed us a clear moment of introspection as cities. It has highlighted disparities and inequalities in how our cities are arranged and highlighted the damage to the environment and to our health that was accepted. Distance and remoteness threaten our human culture. The 15-minute city is a mechanism for getting back from this crisis. It is an economic and social recovery tool. Thank you very much.